Hi, good morning, everyone. It's my honor to be here today with you guys. And I would like everyone to join me in welcoming our speakers for today for the first session of the first day of the first Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. Please welcome Dr. Arak Sutivong, Deputy CEO, SCBX. And our next distinguished guest for today is Simon Kim, co-founder and CEO of Hashed. Yeah, and again, I would like to welcome everyone to this session, as we are embarking on the very exciting journey of the first Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. And really happy to see everyone here today, and thank you for spending the morning with us. I think without further ado, and I believe everyone is as excited as I am to kick off this session, may I invite our speakers to help please give us a brief introduction about yourself, please.
Okay, thank you. First of all, welcome to the the event, and I understand that we already had a side event last night. Many parties already happening, so people still trickling in. But thank you for joining us in the morning. So as the introduction say, my name is Arak, Deputy CEO of SCBX. Some of you may already know SCBX. For those who are not so familiar, let me give a few minutes introduction. SCBX by nature is a financial holding group. We are a parent company of SCB Bank, Siam Commercial Bank, which is one of the largest bank in Thailand. We also parent company of SCB10X, which is a corporate venture cap firm that probably some of you might already know. And importantly, we are active participant in digital asset ecosystem. We have a number of companies, TokenX doing tokenization. We have Arak doing digital asset custody, but also importantly, collaboration and partnership with Hash to set up Chart Lab together to explore the exciting world of Web3. So that's a little bit of who I am and who we are. So, but without wasting more time, let's hear from Simon as well.
Hi, this is Simon. I'm a CEO and co-founder at Hashed. So Hashed is a Web3 investment holdings. So we invest in two types of asset class. First thing is a token, and the other thing is equity of the early stage blockchain startup. So we invested more than 200 cryptos and blockchain startups all around the world. And some of the unique characteristics of Hashed is we are not just as an investor. We want to position ourselves as an ecosystem builder. So beyond the investment, we have many subsidiaries for company building and incubating lots of startups, blockchain startups from the beginning, from scratch. And also for the last 7 years, we were organizing Korea Blockchain Week, one of the largest blockchain event in Asia. And also we have a think tank named Hashed Open Research with a former vice minister of the Ministry of Strategy and Finance. So we are eager to advising and give some opinion to make a proper policy and regulation, not only in Korea, but also in many of the Asian countries.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arak and Simon. And since we are all here today at the Southeast Asia Blockchain Week, let's address the important question of blockchain in Southeast Asia. I would really love to hear from our speakers today about what do you think are the key trends that are shaping the blockchain and Web3 industry in Southeast Asia today. Maybe we start from Dr. Arak.
I think, as we know, we are now coming out from the so-called crypto winter, right? So it's a little bit of a re-emergence of the blockchain and the Web3. I think in some sense, we're starting to see interesting use cases and practical real-world use cases coming out. But I think also importantly, we see sort of a clarity in terms of how the regulators are perceiving this, which is great for development of any new industry, right? And I recognize that Web3 and blockchains are sort of two different in terms of regulations, right? But it's good to see the like of MAS and Singapore, the like of Hong Kong HKMA to start to put out framework, and as well as SEC and Bank of Thailand in Thailand to put out framework in terms of how such landscape should be governed and developed. But at the same time, I think importantly, that's just a regulatory framework, but the real world use cases, right? Particularly at least in our group, what we're seeing is the real world asset tokenization starting to take traction. We see use cases like condo tokenization. We're now talking about stable coins and things like that in Thailand, which is a good thing. But also importantly, I think the innovation in Web3 and then, kind of DeFi, while it's still considered for many financial institutions a little bit of an exploration, but I think there are some use cases, interesting use cases, and then in fact we're piloting some today. So in that sense, I see sort of industry regrouping and now re-emerging with practical and real-world use cases where we can actually then take it forward together. What I hope is that we'll, this time around, there's a typical bear and bull cycle, right? Hopefully we're now in the beginning of bull cycle, but let's also develop the ecosystem together in a prudent way, in such a way that we don't, suffer the setback that we had over the past couple of years, right? And I think this is an exciting time, paving way for new digital financial services and digital ecosystem in general. So I think I'm seeing a lot of positive things happening, and quite excited to see how things pan out over the next several years.
Thank you for your insights, Dr. Arak. And Simon, what do you think are the key trends around blockchain in Southeast Asia?
Yeah. So the mission of the Hashit is supporting mass adoption of the blockchain, and I think a key region is Southeast Asia, because there are lots of population here, and especially for the energy of the younger generation and young talent are amazing. And one of the challenges of the Southeast Asia is there are many people are unbanked, but this is also opportunity for the Web3 adoption using the blockchain technology and crypto assets for financial inclusion. So in case of China, there were lack of credit card payment system in 1990. But they skipped the credit card adoption and jumped into the QR payment directly. So I think there will be many opportunity for mass adoption in Southeast Asia. The DeFi and stablecoin and some of the crypto environment can make a huge opportunity to make a financial inclusion and lots of investment opportunity as well. And also for the GameFi space, the Southeast Asia is the home of the play to earn, starting from the Philippines and Vietnam and Thailand. So the relatively low income of the Southeast Asia is also opportunity to jump into the blockchain gaming space. Because for the Western countries, the money they can earn from the blockchain gaming is relatively low for their income. But some of the countries in Southeast Asia, the blockchain gaming from income opportunities are a lot bigger than developed countries. So I believe that the GameFi is the one of the most promising blockchain sector in the near future, and there are much more opportunity in Southeast Asia. So already X Infinity from Vietnam and GuildFi from Thailand, and also some of the other GameFi projects, including Aperium from Thailand, already makes a good example of the successful case.
Thank you very much, Simon. I think we have heard about how both speakers see the current trends and developments around blockchain and Web3 industry in Southeast Asia. I think now maybe it's also a good time to dive a little bit deeper, because both of our guests here today are from different institutions. So maybe if I may address Dr. Arak first, since SCBX is playing a role of a financial institution, I'm curious, how do you think that the traditional financial institutions are playing, what kind of role are we playing in the blockchain landscape? And also what SCBX is actually doing around blockchain technology being incorporated into the services and products, as well as the outcomes that you are expecting?
Well, first of all, I think it should be a positive one. The fact that banks and kind of the leader in the Web3 ecosystem are sitting together on the same stage. But admittedly though, financial institutions and banks by design are conservative, right? Because we're regulated by regulators with having to follow all the licensees, rules and regulations, which is, I think, for the most part, is actually good and the right thing to do. So in that sense, financial institutions tend to be a little bit slower to adopt innovation. Now, but over time, at the same time, financial institutions have the ability to impact a large scale of the population, right? So now the question is, how do we bridge between essentially the emerging innovation with the traditional players who can actually collectively help scale? If we're believing in the world where financial services in the future will be driven by digital innovation, and the roles of the various players in the ecosystem should still be healthy, I think there'll be sort of a sweet spot where financial institutions and innovators and the new technologies will come together. Now, for SCBX, which is again a parent of SCB Bank and a few digital asset portfolio companies, we maybe would take a little bit more proactive stance in pushing the emergence of blockchain and digital assets, right? We actually been focusing on, we believe that in the future, the blockchain infrastructure, distributed ledger technology infrastructure will be an important part of the digital ecosystem. So we've been focusing on building infrastructure. And what it means is essentially an infrastructure typically in any country mostly will be regulated, right? In Thailand and in many countries, we actually have regulations mapping between physical asset to digital asset, essentially tokenization, stable coins, and all these things. So we're focusing on that. Once you have the assets, you have to have safekeeping. So we focus on custody. We also doing the trading and exchange and a few other things that some of you might be aware. So that's sort of, we already entering to that. Now, some of the more mature application and use cases, we are already embracing, adopting. Maybe a few people would know when you do international remittance from Thailand using our SCB Easy apps, it's actually done on a blockchain network, right? So when you actually send out the money to another country or receiving, you actually do it on the blockchain network already on most of the cases, and it's on real-time basis and a relatively lower cost. So that's a practical use. And we also, last year, we tokenized a condo asset to raise fund to do further development. So that's some practical real-world use case already happening, and our organizations are already adopting. But importantly, I think this is, to us, in the grand scheme of things, our bank is 117 years old. This thing is only recent, right? So we see this asset still emerging. So we focus on investing, learning, and innovating with partners like Hash in order to do something. And as we turn next to support the kind of blockchain digital asset, and we have a number of portfolio companies in this sense. So in a sense, we focus on building infrastructure. We try to drive real-world use cases where it's appropriate, but at the same time, we support innovation through the various activities, collaboration, as well as investment.
Thank you. And now that we've heard about building infrastructure, about exploring and promoting real-world use cases, and also investing in innovation, I think Simon is the best person to help come in to provide more perspectives from the investment side. And as Hash is a Web3 investor, I'm also curious, how does Hash evaluate or see the projects around blockchain and Web3 in Southeast Asia, and what might be your sort of learnings or things that you would like to share to the audience here today from that point of view?
So there are many criteria we evaluate, but I think the most important thing is a team, because the themes and the trend in the blockchain ecosystem is changing very fast. So the team's ability to adopt the trend of the technology and trend is crucial. And also in the Web2 space, usually the competition from the early stage usually happening in domestic. So usually Thailand companies compete with Thailand company, or Vietnamese company compete with the Vietnamese company in the early stage. But in the blockchain space, from the day one, they compete from the global landscape. So they have to having the global context of the competition from day one. So the team's ability to adapt as using the context of the global landscape and understanding the recent technology to leverage is crucial, I think.
Thank you, Simon. And I feel like I've learned a lot in such a short time. And it seems like our time is almost up. May just be the last question for the both of you. Do you have any words to say to blockchain and Web3 companies or those who are generally interested in the Southeast Asia market in general? Dr. Arak.
Thank you. So I think, as Thailand is part of Southeast Asia, and we all have vested interest to see Southeast Asia becoming, one of the at least regional hotspot in this area, right? I feel that there are a lot of opportunities, but not enough talent, not enough concentration of kind of high impact programs and projects and talents yet. So what we hope is that we'll play our part to support the development of ecosystem within Southeast Asia. An event like this hopefully get kind of the energy and the community to come together. And at the end of the day, right, we have passion in this thing. If you're interested in Web3, blockchain, DeFi, we're interested in talking to you and perhaps supporting on your growth and journey in the future.
So blockchain is happening on chain and online and digital space, but the developer and builders are living in the offline, in the real world. So I believe these kinds of real world event could be a good placement to getting know each other, how to collaborate each other, or how to make a synergy in real person. So I really hope all the participants in Southeast Asia Blockchain Week really enjoying and find the right partner to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. And to all the audience here today, would you please join me in giving a round of applause to the gentleman and kick off the session for today? Thank you, and I will now leave the stage and hope you guys enjoy all the rest of the packed schedule for today's Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. Thank you very much.